What's up guys, it's your favorite Y-Hive. Today we are here in Bee Swarm Simulator. So today's video is definitely very important and a lot of people have been requesting it. Basically the Robo challenge is definitely a challenge, and so a lot of people are having trouble getting high scores, having trouble doing the stick bug quest. I mean, even I'm having trouble with that and I'm an endgame. It really just is a new mechanic, so a lot of people are definitely confused. So in this video I'll be giving you guys a guide and a bunch of tips and tricks on how to do well and get a good score in the Robo challenge. Okay, so first of all, one thing you gotta get into your head is this is nothing like the ant challenge. Sure, they're both 5 minutes and you gotta defeat mobs and collect pollen, but this requires so much more luck, like RNG. Like, it's so much more RNG based. So many random things can happen, but there's still a few things that you can do to improve your chances of getting a good score, and these are extremely important. Starting off with number one, the bees. So when you actually do your Robo challenge, you know, you get to pick your bees. Well, there are a few bees that you 100% are basically gonna need in order to do well on this Robo challenge. First of all, you need attack bees. If you're a blue hive, get some rage bees in there. Make sure you have a gifted vicious bee. It doesn't have to be gifted, but make sure it's vicious. Your vicious bee is extremely important, as the spike tokens you get will let you do a heck ton of damage to all of the mobs. Seriously, make sure you get your vicious bee before, I would say, at least round 10. I always find round 10 to be pretty hard to do if I don't have a vicious bee, so definitely make sure you're re-rolling your bees to make sure that you can get that vicious bee. Next of all, there's also windy bee. Windy bee is pretty important just because of the tornado. Tornado definitely does a fair amount of damage. I'm pretty sure it does damage. And it also just collects pollen, which is the main reason I really like it. Also, make sure you get your rage bees, as the rage token will let you just do even more damage. And then you also want to make sure that you get your digital bee early on, as because when you use drives in the Robo challenge, it upgrades your digital bee only if you have it equipped though. So make sure you get your digital bee pretty early. If you can get the vicious bee, the windy bee, and the digital bee all early, you are going to have a great run, as long as you follow the rest of these tips. Alright, after that we have the drives. Now the drives are decently, actually no, they're pretty important. I personally don't use drives. I'm trying to save mine, but definitely you know when to use your drives. Like, they're honestly really good. Buy this pack if you can. The glitch drives is honestly one of the best things. Glitch drives are extremely hard to get, so if you do buy this pack, use your glitch drives sparingly, as they're seriously kind of hard to get. So yes, just make sure you use your drives at the right time. So this is just a little side thing you can do that I honestly really recommend. Get a Star Saw double passive from your Supreme Star Amulet, just because the Star Saw just lets you do even more crazy damage. It collects pollen, and I honestly use it so dang much during the Robo challenge. Using your Star Saw is really important. Definitely try to get one if you haven't already. Now, another big thing that can confuse you is your masks. Like, which masks should you be using? Like, if I'm a white hive, should I be using my gummy mask because that helps me collect more pollen, or should I be using my demon mask so I can do more damage? Well, really what I recommend doing is do a test run of like the Robo challenge and then see how well you can do, and see if you're having trouble doing damage, or see if you're having trouble doing pollen. What I mainly like to do, basically every 5 quests, it's kind of like a boss or like a challenge. On the 5th quest, you have to do 25 mosquitoes. On the 10th quest, you have to do 10 cogmowers, and on the 15th, you have to do 10 mega mosquitoes. So basically what I'll do is I'll wear my respective mask, which is the gummy mask, on rounds 1 through 4, and then on the 5th round, I'll go and get my demon mask, so that way I do that extra damage. And so I'll just switch off 4 rounds of my main mask, and then 1 round of my demon mask, so I do that extra damage. Guys, make sure you do this. Honestly, this helps. And now, finally, for the most important part of the Robo challenge, the upgrades. Guys, I cannot stress how important upgrades are, but you need to make sure that you are getting the right ones. Now, there are a few ones that you definitely want to make sure you get. First of all, one of the most important being cogs per round. The more cogs per round, honestly, this is just so worth it. If there's like an upgrade that's like 4 cogs per round, like usually that costs like 7 cogs. So within 2 rounds, that upgrade has already paid for itself. Seriously, cogs per round is really overpowered. Just make sure you're not sacrificing anything too valuable like your attack, which leads me on to my next point, the attack upgrades. Make sure you're getting those attack upgrades, because the more attack you do, the faster you can defeat those mobs, the faster you can move on to the next round, or the faster you clear the field of mobs, so that way you can collect pollen and finish the little quest. So yes, cogs per round and extra damage are definitely 2 very important ones, along with just the extra ones that give you pollen from like flowers and stuff. Those are also pretty good. But after that, we have one more final thing. You should be treating this Robo challenge like a boost. You have to do mobs, but you also have to collect a decent amount of pollen. So you should actually be using, if you're white hive, you should be using auto gumdrops. You should be using jelly beans, so that way you collect more pollen. I highly recommend using your oil and tropical drinks. That way you do more damage and are able to defeat more mobs. If you honestly can, get a fuzzy hive to help you out in the Robo challenge, as it'll pollinate the flowers and you can collect even more pollen. So definitely take note of everything I've said in this video. It's all extremely important. But this game is always going to get harder, and there's still some confusing stuff during beesmas, so if you don't want to miss those videos when I make them, I recommend you subscribe, as I'll be giving you a guide to this year's beesmas. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and see you later.